Chapter 29. And this is the thing that you are to do to them to sanctify them for acting as priests to me. Take a young bull and 2 rams, sound ones, and unfermented bread and unfermented ring-shaped cakes moistened with oil, and unfermented wafers smeared with oil. Out of fine wheat flour you will make them. And you must put them upon a basket, and present them in the basket, and also the bull and the 2 rams. And you will present Aaron and his sons at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and you must wash them with water. Then you must take the garments and clothe Aaron with the robe and the sleeveless coat of the ephod, and with the ephod and the breastpiece. And you must tie it closely to him with the girdle of the ephod. And you must set the turban upon his head, and put the holy sign of dedication upon the turban. And you must take the anointing oil, and pour it upon his head, and anoint him. Then you will bring his sons near, and you must clothe them with the robes, and you must gird them with the sashes, Aaron as well as his sons, and you must wrap the headgear upon them, and the priesthood must become theirs as a statute to time indefinite. So you must fill the hand of Aaron and the hand of his sons with power. You must now present the bull before the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons must lay their hands upon the bull's head. And you must slaughter the bull before Jehovah at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And you must take some of the bull's blood, and put it with your finger upon the horns of the altar, and all the rest of the blood you will pour out at the base of the altar. And you must take all the fat that covers the intestines, and the appendage upon the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and you must make them smoke upon the altar. But the bull's flesh and its skin and its dung you will burn with fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering. Then you will take the 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons must lay their hands upon the ram's head, and you must slaughter the ram, and take its blood, and sprinkle it round about upon the altar. And you will cut up the ram into its pieces, and you must wash its intestines and its shanks, and put its pieces to one another, and up to its head. And you must make the entire ram smoke upon the altar. It is a burnt offering to Jehovah, a restful odor. It is an offering made by fire to Jehovah. Next you must take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons must lay their hands upon the ram's head. And you must slaughter the ram, and take some of its blood, and put it upon the lobe of Aaron's right ear, and upon the lobe of his son's right ear, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and the big toe of their right foot. And you must sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar. And you must take some of the blood that is upon the altar, and some of the anointing oil, and you must spatter it upon Aaron and his garments, and upon his sons, and the garments of his sons with him, that he and his garments and his sons, and the garments of his sons with him, may indeed be holy. And you must take from the ram the fat and the fat tail, and the fat that covers the intestines, and the appendage of the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and the right leg, for it is a ram of installation. Also a round loaf of bread, and a ring-shaped cake of oiled bread, and a wafer out of the basket of unfermented cakes that is before Jehovah. And you must place them all upon the palms of Aaron, and upon the palms of his sons, and you must wave them to and fro as a wave offering before Jehovah. And you must take them off their hands, and make them smoke upon the altar upon the burnt offering as a restful odor before Jehovah. It is an offering made by fire to Jehovah. And you must take the breast of the ram of installation, which is for Aaron, and wave it to and fro as a wave offering before Jehovah, and it must become your portion. And you must sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the leg of the sacred portion that was waved, and that was contributed from the ram of installation, from what was for Aaron and from what was for his sons. And it must become Aaron's and his sons by a regulation to time indefinite, to be performed by the sons of Israel, because it is a sacred portion, and it will become a sacred portion to be rendered by the sons of Israel. From their communion sacrifices it is their sacred portion for Jehovah. And the holy garments that are Aaron's will serve for his sons after him, to anoint them in them, and to fill their hand with power in them. 7 days the priest who succeeds him from among his sons, and who comes into the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place will wear them. And you will take the ram of installation, and you must boil its flesh in a holy place. And Aaron and his sons must eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And they must eat the things with which atonement has been made to fill their hand with power, in order to sanctify them. But a stranger may not eat them, because they are something holy. And if any of the flesh of the installation sacrifice and of the bread should be left over until the morning, then you must burn what is left over with fire. It must not be eaten, because it is something holy. And you must do this way to Aaron and his sons, according to all that I have commanded you. You will take 7 days to fill their hand with power. And you will offer the bull of the sin offering daily for an atonement, and you must purify the altar from sin by your making atonement over it, and you must anoint it to sanctify it. You will take 7 days to make atonement over the altar, and you must sanctify it that it may indeed become a most holy altar. Anyone who touches the altar is to be holy. And this is what you will offer upon the altar: young rams, each a year old, 2 a day, constantly. And you will offer the one young ram in the morning, and you will offer the other young ram between the 2 evenings, and 1/10 part of an ephah measure of fine flour, moistened with the 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil, and a drink offering of the 1/4 of a hin of wine, will go for the first young ram. And you will offer the second young ram between the 2 evenings, with a grain offering like that of the morning, and with a drink offering like its. You will render it as a restful odor, an offering made by fire to Jehovah. It is a constant burnt offering throughout your generations, at the entrance of the tent of meeting, before Jehovah, where I shall present myself to you people, to speak to you there. And I will present myself there to the sons of Israel, and it will certainly be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tent of meeting and the altar, and I shall sanctify Aaron and his sons for them to act as priests to me. And I will tabernacle in the midst of the sons of Israel, and I will prove to be their God. And they will certainly know that I am Jehovah their God, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, that I may tabernacle in the midst of them. I am Jehovah their God. Chapter 30. And you must make an altar as a place for burning incense. Out of acacia wood you will make it, 1 cubit in length and 1 cubit in width. It should be 4 square, and its height 2 cubits. Its horns extend out of it. And you must overlay it with pure gold, its top surface and its sides round about and its horns. And you must make a border of gold round about for it. You will also make for it 2 rings of gold. Down below its border, upon 2 of its sides, you will make them, upon 2 opposite sides of it, as they must serve as supports for the poles with which to carry it. And you must make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. And you must put it before the curtain that is near the ark of the testimony, before the cover that is over the testimony, where I shall present myself to you. And Aaron must make perfumed incense smoke upon it. Morning by morning, when he dresses the lamps, he will make it smoke. And when Aaron lights up the lamps between the 2 evenings, he will make it smoke. It is an incense constantly before Jehovah during your generations. You must not offer upon it illegitimate incense, or a burnt offering or a grain offering, and you must not pour a drink offering upon it. And Aaron must make atonement upon its horns once a year. With some of the blood of the sin offering of the atonement he will make atonement for it once a year during your generations. It is most holy to Jehovah. And Jehovah went on to speak to Moses, saying, Whenever you take the sum of the sons of Israel as a census of them, then they must each give a ransom for his soul to Jehovah when taking a census of them, that there may come to be no plague upon them when taking a census of them. This is what all those will give who pass over to those numbered. A half shekel by the shekel of the holy place. 20 gerahs equal a shekel. A half shekel is the contribution to Jehovah. Everyone passing over to those registered from 20 years old and upward will give Jehovah's contribution. The rich should not give more, and the lowly must not give less than the half shekel, in order to give Jehovah's contribution so as to make atonement for your souls. And you must take the silver money of the atonement from the sons of Israel, and give it in behalf of the service of the tent of meeting, that it may indeed serve as a memorial before Jehovah for the sons of Israel to make atonement for your souls. And Jehovah spoke further to Moses, saying, You must make a basin of copper, and its stand of copper for washing, and you must put it between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water into it. And Aaron and his sons must wash their hands and their feet at it. When they go into the tent of meeting, they will wash with water, that they may not die. Or when they go near the altar to minister in order to make an offering made by fire, smoke to Jehovah. And they must wash their hands and their feet, that they may not die. And it must serve as a regulation to time indefinite for them, for him and his offspring throughout their generations. And Jehovah continued to speak to Moses, saying, As for you, take to yourself the choicest perfumes, myrrh in congealed drops, 500 units, and sweet cinnamon in half that amount, 250 units, and sweet calamus, 250 units, and cassia, 500 units by the shekel of the holy place, and olive oil, a hin. Then you must make out of it a holy anointing oil, an ointment, a mixture that is the work of an ointment maker. It is to be a holy anointing oil. And you must anoint with it the tent of meeting, and the ark of the testimony, and the table and all its utensils, and the lampstand and its utensils, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering, and all its utensils, and the basin and its stand. And you must sanctify them, that they may indeed become most holy. Anyone touching them is to be holy. And you will anoint Aaron and his sons, and you must sanctify them for acting as priests to me. And you will speak to the sons of Israel, saying, This is to continue as a holy anointing oil to me during your generations. It is not to be rubbed in the flesh of mankind, and with its composition you must not make any like it. It is something holy. It is to continue as something holy for you. Anyone who makes an ointment like it, and who puts some of it upon a stranger, must be cut off from his people. And Jehovah went on to say to Moses, Take to yourself perfumes, stacte drops and onycha, and perfumed galbanum, and pure frankincense. There should be the same portion of each. And you must make it into an incense, a spice mixture, the work of an ointment maker, salted, pure, something holy. And you must pound some of it into fine powder, and put some of it before the testimony in the tent of meeting, where I shall present myself to you. It should be most holy to you people. And the incense that you will make with this composition, you must not make for yourselves. For you it is to continue as something holy to Jehovah. Whoever makes any like it, to enjoy its smell, must be cut off from his people.